All right, Shalom. Shalom Israel. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and there's no God beside them. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and Shalom to the elect, whom the Most High have given ears to hear. The title of this lesson is going to be, he calls it, and power was given to him to take peace from the earth. Spearheaded by this, or the motivation of this article, of this video was spearheaded somewhat by this article, all right, as it is a precursor to World War III, where it says Putin tells Scholz more Ukraine energy strikes inevitable due to West pumping and weapons. Now it says Ukraine is bracing for further step-up Russian airstrikes targeting its energy infrastructure, with President Vladimir Putin on Friday confirming the next wave is imminent, telling his German counterpart Olaf Scholz that new attacks are inevitable due to the West's destructive policies. Now, if you do a Google search on the West destructive policies, it's talking about the U.S. and NATO, predominantly U.S., but since NATO is a part of the beast, is a part of the 10 horns. But as the scriptures say, you got the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And it says in Revelation 17 that they had one mind to give their, let me grab it. All right, it says Revelation 17 and 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest. Let me start at 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and of the 7, and goeth into perdition, because America comes out of one of the horns, or which is Britain. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. All right, they have so-called autonomy, if you will. All right, they have strength because they are a NATO nation. There's even policy to where if Russia or China were to go to war with one of NATO nations, then America, another strong nation, can back them. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength to the beast. And that's basically what happened. And to where, if you've been looking at the news, America made it to where the NATO nations, which received their gas from Russia, don't do business with them anymore because they went to war with Ukraine. And then even prior to that decree, or that what do you call that, sanctions put on Russia, you had eagle-faced Trump pull out of particular peace treaties like the JCPOA and the international the intermediate ballistic missile treaty. So it got me to thinking as far as how this man, because these things, America and America's leaders pulling out of particular peace treaties prove that things are only going to escalate to World War III. To where they meet up in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, Gog and Magog and its allies, to fight against the whore, America. They're gonna wake up and smell the coffee, as it is also written of in Revelation 17. All right, that they're gonna come together and they're gonna burn the whore. Right? In Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay? But America, ran by Esau Edom, also known as the red dragon, all right, also known as the red horse. It was given to this place to make war. It was given to Esau Edom, all right, spearheaded by America, to take peace from the earth, and before World War III, which is going to be a devastating war, World War II and World War I, also under the regimes of Esau Edom, all right, under America, which is spearheaded by America, was enacted. All right, it was what's what I'm looking for? It was instigated, it was played out, as thus saith the scriptures, and through those wars, which there were many civil wars. All right, I'm trying to, damn, Salakia. There were many wars before that. However, when you look up all right, no biggie. Let's see. Right, there were many civil wars. There were many wars between regions, which that's a civil war. All right, what you look up the difference, it says a civil war versus a world war. If we define civil war and world war in simple terms, we can say that civil war is a war between a country and between two states or two ethnicities or so. In contrast, world war is a conflict between several nations. Okay, so let me actually pull it up, because when we look at different wars and their death tolls, right? You see the death range is 100,000 plus, 33,000 plus, 400,000 plus. All right, but we go into the different wars. Like I said, World War I, World War II, and World War III. Inevitably, because it's incorporates more nations, all right, there will be a higher death toll. So when we look at the modern wars, all right, which, like I said, we just focusing on the world wars. We're not even looking at the colonization of the Americas, which dang, I can't maybe I'll come across it, but it was saying that it's upwards of 80 million. The death toll was upwards of 80 millions, at the colonization of the Americas. But like I said, sticking to just World War I, II, and III, we're coming into World War III. All right, it was upwards of here we go, 40 million. So as you've seen, as I was scrolling through, you got 100,000, 200,000. All right, I think it was one war, which is the Taiping War. I can't find it now, but that was upwards of 20 million. All right, but this is upwards of 40 million. And then you add that with the World War II. This is 85 million. Okay, so what's that? 125 million? 125 million. And that's just that's a good estimate. All right, but these two, like I mentioned before, these two, which as you see, that lead to the Greco-Italian War, the Continuation War. These were all part of World War II. All right, so you add all that up, that's another 200,000. All right, so that's a lot of death orchestrated by this red beast. Okay, and then we want to add World War III. You know, and that's that World War III is gonna be the icing on the cake. All right, but I actually found this quick video, which Lord will not get a strike. All right, but it says life. What the name of the page is Life's Biggest Questions. All right.
The total number of deaths in World War I was 17 million. The total number of deaths in World War II was somewhere between 60 to 80 million, making it the world's deadliest conflict to date. World War III is a hypothetical war that is expected to surpass both the First and Second World Wars in the level of scope and amount of destruction.
And I gotta correct it. It's not hypothetical. It's written in the scriptures. It's written in the scriptures as the third woe. Woe meaning death. And again, as we just went through the list, the wars with the most death is what? The world wars, encompassing what? Different nations.
It is said in the Bible that World War III will kill a third of the world's population. That's around 2 billion people. But is that really the truth? Realistically,
which I don't know where she got that from, but it's gonna kill more than a third, you know. It's gonna kill 2/3, most, you know, of the tribes. Which the scriptures say the tribes is as the sand of the sea, but then it's going to also take out these nations, these other nations. The only ones that's going to be saved is the elect, 144,000, the innumerable multitude, you know, which, you know, it's an innumerable multitude. So I would guess it's upwards of, you know, couple million. All right, but even let's just say it's on the high end of 100 million. All right, plus the 144,000, you know, plus the, you know, the few elites that's going to get saved for slavery. That's still, you know, a huge portion that's going to be put to death in his last war. All right. Shit, I would say a couple, probably 7 billion. You know, it's going to be a lot of casualties. Even Ezra said, was that 2nd Ezra 8? He said, those that be saved, let me grab it. This is a drop to a bucket. Second Ezra 9 and 15. I have said before and now do speak and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. So you see the comparison is, there is no comparison, you know.
how many casualties will there be in World War III? Welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre. World War II was supposed to be the war to end all wars, which makes the assumption that there would never again be a global conflict of that size. World War II was ended by the development and deployment of nuclear weapons. The world was shocked by the mass devastation and civilian death caused by the atomic bombs that were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But then
But that's written up in, All these things are written of in the scriptures. Even it says in Revelations 13, all right, that this beast, which again, if I didn't mention it, the beast written of in Revelations 13, Revelations 12, all right, is America, which, as it says, was wounded, but then it came back to life through Rome, because America was formed through Rome. All right, got the same ideology, the same mindset. But as it says in Revelations 13, in verse 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. All right. They even got the movie coming out this year called Oppenheimer, in which Oppenheimer basically said that, you know, he said he has become destroyer of wars. He has become death. You know, and this, you know, this quelled the other nations to be interested in the hydrogen bomb. All right. Now they have what? A nuclear bomb, to where the nuclear bomb is, because I believe the hydrogen bomb is damn, I forgot the word. It's like, well, the hydrogen bomb, all right, is one type of I believe it's fusion reaction, to whereas the nuclear bomb is both fusion and fission reaction. So it's hundreds of thousands times stronger than that of the hydrogen bomb. Okay? So again, power was given to him to take peace from the earth. Because these missiles, like it says in Joel, the 2nd chapter. Alright, let me grab it. Alright, these missiles is going to take peace off the table. Alright, because after it, like it says in, was that Joel 2 and 3. Whew. 2 and 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Which is what we doing, telling the people to get right. All right, as the prophet Isaiah said, come my people up into my chambers until the indignation of the Lord be overpassed. So we telling the people, which only the elect is going to hear it and change, all right, to get right, because the missiles are coming. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. As the girl in the video, she's actually going to quote the Albert Einstein. He was saying how, I know not what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Because this is it. This is the third woe. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Okay? No man, woman, or beast shall escape them, except the Lord be with them.
Then it became apparent during the Cold War in 1947 that other nations were developing nuclear weapons, mainly the Soviet Union. Many countries on Earth since then have developed nuclear weapons, should they ever need them. There are more than 31,000 nuclear warheads known to be maintained by global powers. Why are there so many nations developing nuclear weapons if there isn't at least the slight possibility that they will be used? Thankfully, the Cold War ended because the American and Soviet leaders decided.
Isaiah 34 tells us that they will be used. I want to. Is it 34? Let's grab it. It's either 34 or 54. Yep, Isaiah 54. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. You know? And the smith are these modern day nuclear physicists, these nuclear scientists. You know? And dealing with that kind of power, you have to be super careful. Because one wrong calculation, and it's lights out for that whole facility. Hell, you be lights out for that whole town. So the Most High created the smith. All right, which the smith is the person that creates the weapons. Right, it says here in was that Sirach 39? The smith is also by the anvil and considering the ironwork, because you have what ironsmiths, to forge the iron into swords. The vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fired with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears, because the process is you melt it. Not melt it, but you burn it. You put it under the hot heat. All right, and then you bang it into formation. All right, and then you dip it into the water to basically hold that shape. And his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth to polish it perfectly. All right, so these missiles have been polished perfectly for the day of the Lord.
Decided to avoid a conflict that would impact life on the planet for years to come. Let's hope the same logic is used to stop World War III from happening. But sometimes in war, logic gets thrown out the window. One is to assume that if World War III broke out, the use of nuclear weapons would be at the forefront of the fight. Technology has advanced substantially since the Second World War, especially military technology. Global military powers are prepared for the worst because it's not just nuclear bombs we have to be worried about. Biological warfare is another major concern. If enough biochemical weapons are used, it would perhaps render much of our Earth uninhabitable. At the end of World War II, Albert Einstein suggested that a third world war would divert mankind back to the Stone Age. He said, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." One can assume that from this statement, World War III would have to...
Now, might I add that it says in Ecclesiastes that the earth abideth forever. So however the Lord is going to do it, he's going to have it to where not the whole earth will be destroyed.
Catastrophic consequences, to the point where the human race would succeed in nearly exterminating ourselves and our current societies. Last time I checked, Albert Einstein was a pretty smart guy, so it's probably best we heed his warning. As for the actual amount of casualties in World War III, it depends on who you ask, and it also depends if we are foolish enough to start the nuclear weapon domino effect. If nuclear warheads are used and they hit highly populated areas, the number of casualties would be unimaginable. To put it into perspective, the total population of the top 10 largest cities is around 178 million people. So if every major city is wiped out, that's around the maximum amount we're looking at. The number of casualties would also be dependent on how long it takes for everyone to say, okay, maybe a world war is not worth all this devastation, and the bombing stops. So that's the number of casualties in the short run, as in initially. Nuclear fallout has devastating consequences, such as wiping out food supplies and clean drinking water. Power grids would be shorted and electronics would be useless. The economy could also collapse. Millions more will die in the years to come, possibly even doubling the number of deaths. Hopefully World War III would not be fought with nuclear weapons. If the global powers decide to exercise restraint and the world is pulled into a global conflict without nuclear weapons, around 100 to 150 million could die. Statistically, we are due for a huge war. But let's hope that history has taught us that there won't be a world to fight for if we employ the use of nuclear weapons in World War III. I'm Charlotte Dobre. Don't forget to like this video and share your topic suggestions in the comments below.
And it's definitely going to happen because, like I said, it's written in the scriptures. And it says in 2 Esdras, the 15th chapter. It says in 2 Esdras, the 15th chapter, It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. All right. Us blowing a trumpet, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So these things will happen, and billions are going to die. She was just being nice, you know, because that's a devastation nobody wants to think about. However, it's written of in the scriptures. Even nuclear fallout is written in the scriptures in Revelation 8, where it says how the hail shall fall. All right, it says Revelations 8:8, and the second angel sounded, 8 and 7, and the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees were burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. Like it says in Habakkuk, was thou, angry at the grass? Was thou angry at the seas? Because, the seas is polluted because there's chemtrails in the air. And also Esau is dumping garbage in the seas. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. All right. So again, the seas, when you go into Revelation 17, or was it 16? The seas is talking about the people, but then you also have physically where the Most High is going to destroy the seas. All right. Not all of it. Not all of it, but a good majority. All right, because this nuclear missiles is high, it's going to dry up the waters, as I alluded to Habakkuk the 3rd chapter. And the name of the star is called wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were bitter because of the nuclear fallout. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. All right, because that smoke, man, from the missiles, especially hitting America, it's going to go up for a very long time. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe. 3 words meaning 3 world wars to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voice of the trumpet and of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. It's Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, Edom, and power was given to him, Job 9:24, that sat thereon. All right, when Edom received power, when his red horse received power, it was given to him to take peace from the earth. All right, that word peace meaning exemption from the rage and havoc of war. As a matter of fact, when you go into, we always bring this out, how many years has America been at war? The U.S. has been at war 225 out of 243 years since 1776. To take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. You see? So yeah, like I mentioned, there was wars under other nations, but this man had a notable, what it says, mass and weight, great. What does it say in Genesis 27? All right, that is, his blessing will be the sword. Okay, and what's greater than that nuclear missile? All right, hey, so if that, shalom to the elect.